Everybody knows that these days there's a massive fight over abortion. And when Roe v. Wade got overturned, the pro-abortion people went nuts. Since that time, they've done everything possible to demonize their opponents. There's numerous cases even when they've written vile graffiti on churches and they bombed pregnancy centers. Well, there's actually a couple of different tactics that are used by different pro-abortion groups. One group are the really angry ones. They tend to be atheists, and they're vile with all kind of venom. And then there's another group that actually claim to be Christians, and they believe that God approves of abortion. Recently, Michigan Democrat Hillary Scholten spoke in Congress opposing curbs on abortion. Now, she claims to be a pro-choice Christian, and she invoked two arguments. The first argument was that my faith informs my action but doesn't dictate political policy. Well, that's just a joke. Her political policy is her faith. Her second argument uses the Bible actually to try to support abortion. And to do that, she backed it up with Jeremiah 5:1, which she claims says that the mother should have control over her body. The verse says, I knew you before I formed you, and I placed you in your mother's womb. And she interpreted that to mean that the mother has control over her womb. Well, that's simply a bogus interpretation. Scholten touts her Dutch Reformed heritage and her active participation in the church to back herself up. But obviously, her faith doesn't correspond to traditional Christian faith. Instead, she's part of a church that's accepted theologically liberal positions. And in these churches, political policy typically overrules biblical teachings. They do this by reinterpreting the biblical text using non-biblical beliefs. And then, of course, they ignore verses that speak against their point of view. And so with this, they claim to be Christian, but at the same time, they live by beliefs that are non-biblical. Unfortunately, that's really not that uncommon these days. There's a lot of churches that fall into that category. Most of these claim that God's primary will for believers is to, quote, do social justice work. Their focus is to help the oppressed to get justice. And they focus entirely on politics and economics. They're not at all concerned with people's eternal salvation, which is the real message of the Bible. As a Christian, you need to know how to make the distinction between true and false teachings. Do you know how to show that these theologically liberal, self-identified Christians, why they're wrong? Well, I know a place where you can get great apologetics resources. The Market Faith Ministries website is at www.marketfaith.org. Check it out and follow us here for more practical apologetics helps. This is Freddy Davis, president of Market Faith Ministries. Look forward to seeing you next time.